here from Beads by the Chill, bringing you this week's Thursday tutorial time. How are you all doing? As always, welcome first of all if you're new. It's lovely to see the group growing and lovely to see new mates coming in the thread as well. But as always, please do give me a thumbs up. Do pop me a note in the comments so I know you were present with me. So I'll just wait for the comments to pop up and I'll just wait for you all to hop on as well. I hope you're all well. Now, I have tried a new nail varnish. I'm looking for some recommendations. Hi Lucy, I think you're in the thread. Maybe you could recommend something to me. Now, I had terrible trouble with my nail polish when I was at the latest Hochanda, which is now from today called the Craft Store, and perhaps I just didn't give myself enough time or I did too many layers, but with the wire work it was gradually chipping away, and someone said try the gel type product. So I've tried Rimmel's Super Gel. I'm not sure, I know Lucy you do Body Shop, Sharon, Emma. I'm not sure if Body Shop what their nail varnish is like. So anyway, I am waiting for all the comments. Yay, there we go. I don't know why they don't appear suddenly. Good evening, Jane. Hello, Francis. Hello, Annette. Hello, Kay. Hello, Carol. Yes, happy Easter to everyone. Hello, Lydia. So tonight's tutorial is going to be something very relaxed, great one for beginners and a good one all round. Now, I know a lot of you have bought some gemstone chips lately. That's something you could do with this as well if you want to. You can use this technique for necklaces or for bracelets. This one that I've done here, I love. This is the Terra Intensive range, and I've used size 8 seed beads with this, which are sort of size that you use if you've done any kumihimo braiding. I'm doing the demonstration piece on size 6. You can use 10 as well. Now, if you're new to seed beads and numbers, the higher the number, the smaller the bead. Generally size 15s are the tiniest, although I'm sure there's probably smaller ones out there. And we also use a lot of seed beads in bead embroidery. Oh, Carol says she finds the Sally Hansen range really durable. Oh, that's good to know. I think I might have some of that. I'll have to try it. Hello, Jay. Hello, Anne. Francis says OPI nail varnish. Okay, brilliant. Thank you for all your suggestions. So let's start with a bit of a shopping list for you. So if you do want to make this, like I say, it's very flexible with what you use. The only thing you've got to bear in mind is that whatever you're using goes in the cone ends. But I'm going to show you a bit of a hack a little bit later on to show you if your beads are too big to go in there, what you can do to get over that. We're using these little cone ends and they have got a hole in both ends, so you've got obviously a bigger hole one than the other. We are using tigertail, which is a type of beading thread. We're using eye pins. You only need 2 eye pins, so you've got a pre-formed loop one end, a clasp, which I am going to use a lobster clasp, otherwise known as a trigger clasp, and some little crimp beads, which I'll do a close-up in a second. Basically, crimp beads are little circular beads that you squeeze onto the thread to secure it in place. Now, I have kind of started one from earlier, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to start from scratch anyway. Hello, June. Lovely to have you. Are any of you having any Easter projects you're working on? Let me know. I am working on a turtle at the moment. I had an evening yesterday. I sat down and I did a little bit of drawing, and I'm going to give him a go. I've also got a whale that I have completed, and I thought, you know, he'd go quite nicely with that sort of sea theme. Let's have a look. Now, I've just put up the post for April makes as well. So please start to share your April makes. I don't know if you've spotted, but I think that is June, Deb, Linda Drury and Betty. I think it's Betty. Yes, it's Betty. Your Tree of Life are highlighted at the bottom of this month's makes. Now, if I can remember to do it, I will circulate people's makes on there as well. As we did a lot of Tree of Life last month, I just thought it'd be nice to sort of highlight things that perhaps people haven't seen. Hello Lisa, never worry about being late. Lovely to have you. Carol's attempting to knit her granddaughters a long cardie each. Oh, you are good. Lucy, hi Lucy. The only project she's working on is keeping Dom from eating the Easter eggs. Lucy, that is a very difficult job. Oh, you're working all bank holiday, so hoping they're still there. Dom, don't eat all the Easter eggs. You have to hide them. Oh, Zara will. Oh, Zara loves turtles. Brilliant. I'll bear that in mind. Anne said she's had a cataracts done, so she'll be able to start to see enough to start making again. Oh, brilliant. And wishing you a speedy recovery. Oh, June, she saw the Tree of Lives. Lucy's other project is the garden and getting it all looking nice and summery. Oh, we've had such good weather for that, haven't we? Oh, Emily's joined the thread as well. Emily is my daughter, and she says to Lucy, good luck with keeping Dom away from the chocolate. Yeah. What can I say? He gets it from his mum, I think. Doesn't he, Ems? You might have to hide your stash. Yes, I think so too. Right. Have I covered all the bits? Right. You only really need 2 tools for this. Oh, side cutters. I wouldn't say using your best scissors. And chain nose pliers or bent nose pliers. Whenever I'm on a live or on TV, all these words just go out of my mind. David was 12 the other day. Where's that? He's 11. Anyway, June, she's finished a hat for Dax. Dax's daughter, but forgot to take a pic. Oh, that's a shame. Oh, and doing a crochet for Dax's friend expecting a baby. Oh, lovely. Carol would like to do the Tree of Life with a swing. Brilliant. I look forward to seeing that. Kevin said he's going to attempt the mouse he bought from me. Brilliant. Look forward to that. Look forward to seeing it. Today, Jane is working on a window display for school Easter trail. Has to go live in the morning and still loads to do. Oh gosh, good luck. I bet the kids will love that. Oh, you are good, Anne. Anne has been a good grandmother and she bought books instead of eggs. Oh, what a lovely idea. I'd be well happy with that. I'm a real bookworm. Right, let's zoom in. Do have a chat amongst yourselves as you're going. Do give any top tips. Do say if you're completely new to it and if you want some support. So I will zoom in. Yeah, happy birthday, David. It really wasn't. He's still 11. I don't know where I was with that. Anyway, let's zoom in. I'm just going to swipe away your comments. So do keep commenting while I'm demonstrating, because I will come back to them. Okie dokers. So you've got your eye pins. I'm not going to go too far in. Let's move these out the way so that you don't have, there we go, that's it. This is tigertail, not to be confused with beading wire. Well, it is beading wire, but it's not to be confused with wire that you do your wire wrapping projects with. I'm just going to wind that back up and start the other end. Now, cut, so say for example, you want your finished piece to be 7.5 inches. I would seriously cut yourself about 9 or 10 inches. Give yourself plenty to work with. This is called an eye pin and it's got the hole in it. I've popped a crimp bead on the thread. I'm going to pop that through the eye pin, fold it over and pop it back through and squeeze that up. Now I will just quickly zoom in on that so that you can see. Let's just make sure. Okay. Now, a couple of things. Let's just make sure that that eye pin is fully sealed, because if it isn't, that tiger tail would get through any gaps. I'm just having a small tail, but you might want to work with more to give yourself, make it a little bit easier to work with. So both ends, both parts of the thread are through that. I'm going to squeeze with the tip of my chain nose pliers. You watch, I get a faulty one just because I'm online. How typical is that? Right, let's start again, shall we? There we go. Yes. Right. Can you see that that flattens? Okay. Now, if you are just doing something like these size 8s, you can work straight into the size 8 seed beads from the start. However, we're going to be working with the next size up. So what you want to do is add a couple of small seed beads at the start. I've used size 10s. So basically it's going to go inside the cone that you add at the end. So I'm going to add 3 on there. 1, 2, 3. Now, if the holes are big enough, you can hide your tail within that. And then what we're going to start doing is actually threading on the beads. Now, what I'd recommend you do is take into account for the length your cone ends and your clasp. So say for example you want 7.5 inch bracelet, perhaps your cone ends are 1 inch long, and then you've got your clasp. Just bear that in mind. But I think the easiest way is to probably just pop it around your wrist. So I'm going to zoom out a little bit so that I don't go off camera like I normally do. Oh, that's going well. This isn't, these don't thread on quite as easily as if you've got a needle, but you can't thread a needle onto this. This tiger tail thread, it does come in different colours as well. And to be honest, even if you're using gold cone ends and you've only got silver, to be honest, it doesn't really matter. You're not going to see it because it's going to be hidden in your cone ends. And the same for crimp beads as well. but I just think this would be such a nice project for a necklace. I mean, if you want me to do a necklace next week, perhaps something in gemstone chips or something like that, do pop a note in the comments. I'm just grabbing my ruler. Right, so let's zoom out a little bit more so you can see what I'm taking into account here. So obviously your cone end will be on there, and you'll have a cone end this end. So that's going to be about 6.5, 7. I'm just going to add another few more. What you could always bear in mind is if it turns out too small, you can always pop an extender on it. But don't forget, this end, add the same 3 seed beads. Right, let's zoom in a little bit more so that you can just see me. Hopefully that won't suddenly fall off my stand. Right, added 3 seed beads. Got a crimp bead. I'm just going to double check that my eye pin is okay. You could, for those of you that have heard of wire wrap loops, you could always do a wire wrap loop here as well. So I'm going to bring the tail and I'm going to bring it back down through the crimp bead and a couple of seed beads. And then once I'm satisfied, you want a little bit of movement in there. Once you're satisfied with that, is squeeze that crimp bead and then cut this off. Now, because this is quite a quick project, I wasn't sure how we'd go for time. But I am going to do the whole thing if I can. So I'm going to cut another length. We're going to start this end. Let's just zoom in a little bit more again. So I've cut another length of tiger tail. Pop that through there. It doesn't matter which side you go on. Now all I've done is I've just brought the end through that, and then I'm going to push it up. Give yourself plenty to work with, not like what I've done there. Just checking to make sure I'm not going off. You want it fairly tight as well, and squeeze. Now for this one, so if you want to just trim it down, you can use the flat edge against it. Let's just zoom out so that you can see me threading. So this time I am going to do the green ones, but you know, you can use any colour. You could even do more strands. If you've got sort of like size 10 seed beads, you can always do more if you want to. Oh, do you know what I forgot? I forgot the 3 seed beads. Do you know, I like to make all the mistakes for you in advance so that you don't make them. I'm getting really good at that. So 3 little seed beads. Now most of these bits are in the Facebook group thread to buy. If you can't find them, just message me and let me know what you were looking for. These colour beads as well, the size 8s, the size 6s, those are all in there. Oh, the other thing I meant to say was I actually weighed these, and a whole bracelet, you could just about get a whole bracelet out of 10 grams. That's 10 grams of your size 6 or your size 8, and you would definitely get enough out of a size 10 as well. Now what I did was I weighed 5 of each colour, and then I had to mix up. So if you had 5 grams of each colour, to make it stretch to the 10, you'd have to mix those two together. Or you can just use one colour if you want to. Right, let's just zone out there so you can see. There's a couple of different options here. Now, I noticed, Kevin, you put a lovely multicoloured bracelet in the thread using this technique. Now, I would tuck that in, but I'll just carry on as I am for now. Now, what Kevin did with his is he lay his side by side like that. So if you want them all the same length and not twisted, you would just literally crimp it to this side. But what I'm going to do is I'm just going to, it could possibly come undone anyway, but I'm just going to wrap that round a little bit, push that down. You might need to add another couple of beads because obviously you've just taken up some of your beads by wrapping it round. Take that one off, add 3 on the end, 1, 2, 3, plus a crimp bead. What you could always do is you could always sellotape these ends whilst you're working. So let's pop that on there. So what I'm doing here is I am popping the crimp bead on and I'm popping it down a couple of beads and pulling it. So just see that. Okay. Just make sure you've got no gaps in there before you squeeze. You could even keep the crimp bead in place without crimping. Just trim that off. For the right to the last bit, you know, if you want to make sure that it's all okay, at least by not securing the crimp, it will give you an idea. You can just do a check beforehand. Right, here's some I prepared earlier. Right, so crimp bead on. Sorry, I've made a right little mess here. Crimp bead on. It doesn't matter which side you go. Go back through there. The cone ends, I think I've done a tutorial using cone ends somewhere. They're really good little toppers for earrings as well. So say for example, you know, you've got just a few plain beads and you want to add something different. You could just use, for those of you that are familiar with head pins, which is basically the same as an eye pin, sort of, except it's got a flat base, not a loop. You could just add the bead, add the cone end on top. Oh, I suppose you could even add some of the little sparkly ones in that as well. I'm going to do that. I like it. Just adds a little bit of texture, doesn't it? I'm just going completely random here. And in terms of, to be honest, with the length, it's all very much eyeballing it, if I'm honest. Not sure if you can see what I'm doing, but this has come together quite quickly, really. I find the last bit is the most difficult part because it's kind of getting it to sit right without it buckling. Right, sorry if I've gone off camera. I'm just literally threading on seed beads, and I'm going to have to thread on a few more because you've got to allow for that wrap around the beads. Now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to bring that around the beads like so. Okay, so I've just got a little bit of a twist going in there, and then I am going to add, just make sure they all line up okay in terms of one not longer than the other. I'm really determined to forget those last few beads, aren't I? So don't forget, if you only really need the smaller beads if you're working with the size that I am, and they are size 6 seed beads. Right, so I think what I'm going to do is zoom in a bit more. So I've got my, no, I haven't got my crimp bead on. Pop your crimp bead on. Right, let's zoom in a little bit and I can show you how to finish off. There we go, crimp bead on. Thread the tiger tail thread straight back down. Now the difference with your tiger tail thread to ordinary sort of wire is the fact that it's flexible, but just be careful if you're making necklaces in it, is it does kink easily. It's okay. And just do a quick check, make sure you've got no unsightly gaps. Squeeze that crimp bead, cut any excess off. Now, final bit, cone end, pop the eye pin through your cone end. So see how neatly that all sits inside there? And then I've realised I need other pliers, so bear with me. I lied, I need looping pliers. But they're not far away, so here we go. So secure, do one at a time. Cut roughly a centimetre from the end of the cone. Make sure it doesn't take flight. Then turn this at a right angle, making sure that it's bringing these nice and taut at the bottom. And then switch to your looping pliers, just about half a centimetre from the end, or a centimetre depending on how big you need to form your loop. And there we have one loop. So we're going to do the same the other side. So let's just show you how that's come out. And then we do the same the other side. Let's get another cone end out. Oh, I already had. I thought I had. Make sure all of those strands sit inside. Make sure they're fully locked into place. Cut roughly a centimetre. Pop it in your mat or hold it on the end to make sure you don't get any fragments near your eyes. Turn that at a right angle and then just loop it back. And there you've got both of those ends looped. And then finally what you would do is you then add your clasp. Now there's a couple of ways around this. You can open up the loop if you want to add that on. I personally quite like that because I think it reduces the amount of bulk, metal bulk you have in your bracelet. So I've opened that up and popped that on there and just return it back. So there's your clasp. Now, depending on how big your bracelet is, you can just clip it straight in to the other side, or if you want to, you can add a length of chain or a couple of jump rings. Now again, if you're opening jump rings, you will need a pair of flat nose pliers and a chain nose with the split up at the top. These are called jump rings. Pop that on there and return that back so that the joins come back together. And then obviously if you need a couple, and add those. The other thing that you could do just before I come back to you, because we're doing okay for time, is I mentioned earlier about a head pin. Now, these are head pins and they have got a flat base to them. So what you could always do, if you want to add an extra touch, is you could always pop a couple of beads or a crystal. I'm going to pop the size 10 seed. I'm going to cut it so that it's got about 1 centimetre from the end of the last bead. Turn it, loop it back. This is also how you do earrings as well, and the cone ends. So that's a little bit wonky donkey, so sort that out. Pop that on your chain or your loops and you've just got an extra special touch on there. So let's just show you that. So you've got your very neat cone ends with a nice little 3-strand wrap. You've got a lovely neat end with some smaller beads so they fit snugly. You've got your lobster clasp there, and you've got your cute little embellishment there as well. So I hope you enjoyed that. Let's just come back to you, see if you've got any questions. Oh, it was lovely to see you all commenting and having a chat. I'm going to have a quick slurp of my drink while I'm Emily says college work's the only project she's working on. I know, but you'll get there, Emily. You're doing really well. You'll be through it in no time. Yes, Lucy, David's birthday is in September. I was just having a moment. Lydia said she is watching. Brilliant. Lucy says to Emily, get the gin out and it'll go quickly, your college work. I'm sure it will. Well, not so sure. Caught you out April the 1st. Lucy, do give it a go. They're really simple to do. You've just really, and it's something that you can just sit in front of the telly and relax and chill out, and they make great little presents as well. June says, use your nails to curve the tiger tail up slightly at the end. Easier to scoop on the beads. Great tip, I like that. Hello, Wendy. It's lovely to have you join. I don't think you've watched before, so welcome. It's lovely to have you. Oh, she thinks she was just watching an old live. That's okay. They're all there, and a lot of them are on YouTube as well. And likes your idea as well, June. Is the new craft channel the same channel number? Yes, yes it is. Hochanda and now the craft store. And I think that's a really good decision to make, because most people haven't got a clue, including myself, what Hochanda means. And if you're flicking through the channels or the internet, it wouldn't stand out as a crafter. So I really think that it's a brilliant move. Nothing else is changing. Annette said yes, it is on her TV. Lucy likes the contrast of the colours. Multicolours are always lovely, or like different shades. Yes, absolutely. You know, just thought that if you were buying somebody a bottle, You could always have that as kind of like a bottle decoration as well, or as an extra present over the top of the bottle for them. I suppose like our candle decorations, you could pop that round the base of a candle. Oh, that's nice, Kevin. The colours in the bracelet he put in the March shred represented the NHS rainbow. Really nice. June uses her reverse tweezers to hold the end while she's working. Great. I'm loving these tips. Lucy, that's such a good idea. I'm not sure which idea. That's the only thing when I look back at the thread, is because it doesn't kind of, and it doesn't do it when I watch it back, so I'm not always sure which bit people are commenting on. Oh, that's lovely. Kevin took some of the bracelets in to people when he got his jab. What a beautiful gift. Random is so difficult. I think I need to close my eyes. You're not alone, Carol. I am just a very random person in general. So random is not something that I struggle with, but I know most people do. Kevin likes the look of that. Brilliant. Hello, Linda. Don't worry about being late jumping on. It's just lovely to have you. Yeah, the tiny little seed beads, don't they just, I think if you can see it there, they just catch the light, don't they? Lisa's going to give this a go. You always make it look so easy. Not always, Lisa. Not always. And it's always live on TV when I have my moments. But, you know, we all have them. And yes. Francis, so true. Bless you. I would think I'd add magnetic fastener, as I find bracelets hard to do on myself. That's a great idea. The only thing I would say with magnetic, from my experience, it's always my beloved pieces, is that you don't always know that you've caught the magnet on something and you lose it. You really want a real knuckle duster magnet, or some chain. I don't know if there's any chain that you can get that doesn't magnetize, because if you put chain round it, the chain just shrivels around the magnet. But that's just all I'd say, is be mindful that you could lose it, only from experience. Jay said she loves this, going to give it a go. Oh, brilliant. Kevin, thumbs up. Brilliant job. Thank you, Kevin. Very summery colours. I know, they're so lush and bright, aren't they? Thank you, Lisa. Trisha says, lovely. Lucy, that looks amazing. Thank you. Linda says, hi, Rachel. We'll have to try this over the weekend. Hope everyone is well. Thank you. I hope everybody is well. I'm good. Hopefully it'll give you a project to do over the weekend. Doesn't it, Carol? The craft store does what it says on the tin. Oh, Lucy, an anklet too. Yes, great idea. Francis likes that idea. And Carol, summer anklet with sandals. Do you know what? The other thing is, if you want one strand, but you like the idea of the cone ends, I have mini cone ends in the gold. And you could just literally have one strand. So say you wanted an anklet and you like that technique. That's just something to bear in mind. Junie's making elf ears today. Made 2 left ones instead of a left one and a right. I understand having a moment. Oh, June, I've had a moment today. And one of the Lindas that's in the thread, she'll tell you I've had a moment, but it was yesterday. I think it's ran into today. When I use a magnetic clasp, I do use a safety chain. Perhaps you could share with us what you use, Kevin, because I haven't found any chain that doesn't wrap itself around the magnet. Lucy really likes the idea of multi-strands. Brilliant. So just to show you the difference, you can't really tell a huge amount of difference between, you know, the 6 and the 8, remembering that the higher the seed bead, the smaller they are. I've tried to put all of these seed beads at the top of the group. Now these bright ones are all part of the Czech Precosa Terra Intensive range, they're called. Now let me show you what tonight's giveaway is. So to be in for a chance to win, all you need to do is please give a thumbs up at the top, because it helps me write the list out to put into my random spinner, and comment in the thread just as a double sort of back, so to speak. So I am giving a kit away to make this one. So you've got that one, so the Terra Intensive Blue, the Terra Intensive Lime. I've given a pack of 4 cone ends and jump rings. I was going to say something else then. Oh dear. Eye pins, lobster clasp, crimp beads, empty packet, not sure why that's there, and some tiger tail, a small reel of gold tiger tail. So if you are the winner and you'd like to buy anything, you will get free P&P. So providing you're happy for your winning little goodie bag to go in the post with it. It just basically, it saves you, if you've got bits you want to buy, it saves you having to pay for postage. But there is no pressure. Sometimes people like to buy things, others, sometimes people are already stocked up. So either way, entirely your choice. Thank you, Kevin. He's going to check and let us know. Wendy likes the giveaway. I'm glad you like the giveaway. Could you please show us the different colours of seed beads you have so we can choose and mix and match? Bear with me. I haven't got my pyjama bottoms on, but my trousers really don't match. So have a chat amongst yourselves, and I am going to grab what we've got. Now, I won't grab the size 10s. Yes, maybe it was Carol, or maybe I just emptied it earlier, the empty seed bead. I'm not going to show you the size 10 because I've got loads. You've got every colour imaginable over there. So if there's a specific colour and I've not listed it, just let me know. Okay, so we have, I'll try and make it quick, but we're still okay for time. We have size 8 Terra Intensive Lime. That's one of the ones I've been working on. We have size 8 Terra Intensive Blue. This is the sparkly one, but this is in a bigger size. The same size, but not the same size as the ones I used in the project. I used silver lined seed beads at the end in size 10. I've also got them in size 8, that's silver lined. I have silver lined purple. Like I say, you can use all one colour. Magenta. It's not magenta, it's hot pink, but they call it magenta. So I've got that one. Sea green. Got that one. And mixed. I've got these back in stock as well. So if there's any you like that you don't see, just let me know. Right, the size 6, that was the size of the demo that I did tonight. We have the lime, size 6. We have magenta, size 6. We have silver lined, size 6. I've got very limited stock. I think I've only got one in the silver, one in the gold, one in the blue, Terra Intensive Green. These are all size 6s, and the purples. You know, you could always mix the sizes up as well if you want to. So that's what I've got. I have also got a small stock of yellow and white in size 8, and I haven't put them online because I've used I like to keep them, the stash of them, because they're the flower on my little hair brooch, but I do have plenty of that. I think that's it. So I'm glad you like the giveaway, Kay, and love to see with all the giveaways what you all make with them. You're very welcome, Francis. Lush colours, they are nice, aren't they? Green, pink and mix of one of each, size 8 please. Okay, Kevin, no problem. Right, well, thank you all, thank you Jay for joining as always. I will be back on Sunday. I will do my best to try and actually schedule the event, because a random time I don't think really suits people much. But anyway, you have yourselves a super Easter. If you're working, I hope you manage to get some down tools time. And Lucy, I hope you manage to get the chocolate off for Dom. Tell him you deserve it because you're working. And love to you all. Take care.